What do you think about Islam? Is it a perfect religion?
To a large extent, I would say Islam is a religion of peace.
And that one self told me that their father that was an Alhaji will not allow her to marry me. And it was not like the campaign that
Muslim men are permitted to marry non-Muslim women, in as much as the women are willing to transition to Islam.
Let's assume your daughter is 9 and somebody is sleeping with her right now. Is it a sin against Allah? Before you even say it's a sin against you. Welcome to Rational Dialogue. Today we want to continue what we started last week. The problem with religion. Last week we talked about Christianity, and of course we mistakenly dive into the conversation about science, truth value, objectivity, subjectivity, and everything in between. Don't watch that part if you are going to watch that episode. It's just a pure waste of time. So we can't talk about Christian all of the time. We need to talk about some other religion, and we are doing this based on the most populous. Christianity was the most populous. So which religion is the second most populous? You guessed right. Thank you. So today we are going into the religion that they are capable of sending some Boko Haram here to bomb all of us, or sending... I know the comment section is going to get in trouble because of this one. But of course, you already know. Yeah, today we want to look at the problem of Islam. What is our concern? Please, this is a subjective debate. This is not to say your religion is evil. This is just discussion from the way I stand, from where Josh stand, from where Dan Smith stand, from where John stand on the subject matter. And of course, because of the guy that started the conflict just last week, we send him away. He's not part of this episode. We replace him with Godwin. So, okay, I'm kidding. Actually, he's a law student at the University of Ibadan, so he doesn't have the opportunity to be with us in this episode. So, it's not because of what he started last week. Of course, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't know where to start, but my gut says that I should start from the source. Let's ask the guy that is the father of the religion in the house, that what's his opinion about his religion? Does he believe the religion is perfect? Or maybe he has his own reservation? I think that's the best way to put a foot into the ground, so that we don't start sounding like Bullock today. Dan Smith, you are welcome to Rational Dialogue. My name is host Elon Jobs. Who are you?
Thank you, Elon Jobs. My name is Daoud Semiu.
Are you gay?
No.
You are gay?
Never. God forbid.
So, with that joke out, you are Daoud Semiu. That means you are a Muslim.
Obviously. Absolutely.
What do you think about Islam? Is it a perfect religion? Do you have any reservation?
Okay. Basically, right. Islam as a religion, I want to believe Islam is perfect, right? I want to believe it is perfect.
Good.
But no doubt, there are some gray areas,
okay,
which you just can't overlook. And me as a person, I'm still learning about those gray areas and the lapses in the religion. Mm-hmm. So, but to a large extent, I would say Islam is a religion of peace, and not perfect, but at least somewhere I can say, okay, this is at least okay.
The problem with your postulation is that even the Quran will not agree with you, because the Quran believe that Islam is a religion from God, is a perfect religion from God, and there's only one prophet, and there's only one God, and and Muhammad is his prophet.
Yes.
Islam is his religion.
Yes.
So that already cloak it with perfection. You now saying that you don't think they agree, that means that you are talking in the realm of rational, dialogue, in natural rationality. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, and Islam came about in several centuries ago, right? And the way of life then and the way of life now is quite different. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there are stuff that are permissible then,
okay,
that are not right now.
Legally, right?
Legally,
okay,
that are not right now. So, if I want to judge from that lens, I would say, okay, there are some lapses here. Maybe, just maybe, there is no provision for some certain issues for now.
But the Quran says that your Allah is all-knowing.
Yes.
So an all-knowing God should already know all of this and then factor in all of that.
Okay. That's why I said there are some gray areas in the religion. So,
Do you believe Allah is God or
Yes.
God is Allah?
Yes, I believe in
Pay
Allah.
attention to that question. Do you believe Allah is God or God is Allah and vice versa? Is Allah and God the same thing? Can you call God instead of Allah?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Let's say now, Allah is Arabic, right? Ọlọ́run is Yoruba. So am I now saying, okay, both are not the same? I think God is an English word. So why not?
Don't worry, we'll get to that when I start talking about my concerns with religion. I hope you are preparing your mind for answer the real question when I start giving you the scholarly debates on that. So anticipate my real question and scholarly argument in that feed where people are arguing. Because I've said it in my video where I was saying how I moved from different religion and I became an atheist. And people are saying that where did I come up with the idea that Allah is not God or God is not Allah? It's a strong debate. It's a strong scholarly debate. And I'm going to cite a lot of people that, try to make real inquiry on that subject. But before we get there, what I want to know now is that, do you have any reservation? What's your exact reservation with Islam? Before I move to other people. Do you have any reservation?
Yeah, my reservation with Islam is how easy it is for people to twist stuff to their own advantage.
Do you think it's twisting that is happening there?
Yeah, I think it's twisting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's twisting. Because initially I said some stuff happened centuries ago, right? Where people are fighting religious war. People from Mecca, they don't want the Muhammad religion, and they say no. They wage war, and of course they fought, and Islam came to be at that point in time. So people tend to pick up some of the text that explains to that context of that war, then bring it to this modern world.
Okay.
And they're easy to pursue political agenda and seek to destroy stuff and claim they saw it from the Quran.
Okay. So you think it's those historical content that have been twisted into modern narrative that is causing the conflict, and that's all your particular problem with the religion?
Yes.
It's the fact that such historical context of how the Quran was institutionalized can be woven into modern reality and used as a bedrock of political or agendarist violence.
In as much as there are several cases in the Quran where things are straightforward, right? There are some parts where somebody can just look and tap in one verse and say, oh, and use it to justify their wrongdoing, their current wrongdoing.
Can you give an example of something like that?
Example of something like that is about religious war, fighting religious war. Personally, with my own knowledge of Quran, I believe it's even in the Quran that, okay, if some people do not want to practice your religion, or they say, okay, let's do this, let's do stuff together. Let's go to mosque today, let's do this and tomorrow. It is clearly stated in the Quran that no, let them do their own. Let us do our own. So there shouldn't be argument for conflicts of interest. But people tend to just go one part of the Quran and say, okay, they were fighting one in this period, and I want to pick this certain text. Okay,
I say okay, like the part where you say there's 14 verse 7 or 17. I say that there should be smiting of their neck, and then there's 5 to something, or there's 3:19 to that.
Exactly.
That can be cited like that.
People just go and take from that place and give it to the mob, and people start to act and doing stuff, destroying stuff, and claim they saw it in the Quran.
So that's Dan Smith on his opinion that the Quran can be cherry-picked to start war and for other agenda reasons. But so that's why I would like to go next to Josh. because Josh knows dancing the most, as far as I know. You guys are roommates. You guys share the same bed. The only thing you guys are not sharing is the same girlfriend. So, Josh, you are an atheist.
No, I'm not.
What are you?
I'm an agnostic.
Oh, good. So, Josh is an agnostic, And for those people that don't understand who an agnostic is those people that are doing GB Java. They don't know where they are on the spectrum. They just say.
In fact, my own version of agnostic is a cultural Christian. So.
You're cultural Christian.
Yeah, as well.
But you don't believe in the Christian God.
And all of that.
Then
the culture.
You are more like into the Christian culture.
I'm the guy that will say, God, make it possible. Sometimes I'll forget myself and say all of that because 20-something years of my life.
So
has been in all of that.
What you are saying is that you are more buying into the Christian culture. Right?
Like I'm bred, buttered, and snacked in the Christian world, and I have Christian siblings, Christian friends, and all of that.
So, have you ever, in any time, been in contact with Muslims?
You just said I say with one.
I'm just trying to so that it doesn't like I'm the So now the question is that why haven't you see the beauty of their faith, and embody it and become one of them or something? Haven't you find God in that, or you don't find God in that camp?
I used to have a Muslim girlfriend.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
Counselor.
Yeah,
we knew her.
So I think my issues, my issues with Islam is one of it is the Sharia thing.
Okay.
When we were in Malaysia, when we were in secondary school, we used to sing one song. Sharia has come, the Muslim rise up to save the nation. Right? Blah 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 blah. Okay. At the end of the day, if you sing Pere, they will cut your hand. Any mago will lead to that. It was redeemic that time. It has redeem rhymes and everything. But as I think about it, wait, you sing Pere, they will cut your hand. Like that kind of theology is barbaric. At best, I don't know how best some people put it, but I know I've seen Quran verses that say thief, cut it, and all of that. And even our penal code is reflective of that. And I think is an archaic culture. It shouldn't be encouraged. That's one of my issues with when you see core Muslim Islamists. You understand? Not this bread and butter, Sultan, this thing. But the core ones, they really like the Sharia thing and all of that. So I really don't buy that. That's one. And the second thing, the second beef I have with it is, I think he said something around that. It's violence. The chance that, this is more for the Shiites. I think for most Sunni Muslims that I have seen in the Southwest, Dan is here, very peaceful.
Okay.
My ex-girlfriend was very peaceful.
Oh, excellent.
And all of that. I have I think my grandmother too was a Muslim. Excellent. From the father side. So peaceful people and all of that. But up north is another word entirely. Okay. If you say something against the prophet, I hope you come out alive. That's one of the concerns me I have. If you say something against the prophet, you will be like, that you say that guy. They say, our own prophets who you are calling that guy, and all of them. So I'm not feeling. I really don't feel that. And that's it. The fact that they can violent ISIS. Of course, if I say even outside Nigeria, are people violent in Saudi? I don't know about Saudi.
Oh, the fact that they are
but I know Afghanistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, all these core Muslim countries, Iraq, the Shiite countries, they have extremism because ISIS, na them, Boko Haram, na them. What's this 9/11? Not them. So a lot of crazy
Al-Shabaab
of Somalia, Boko Haram of Nigeria.
You don't know.
Majorly is the Sharia thing and violence thing. Those are my major.
Wow, interesting. So
those are my major issues.
But you have not found any qualities that attract you to say, oh, there's God there, there's. Are those the reason why you have not tried to say, oh, let me go and
the thing I tried to even read the Quran one time. I said I was having a girlfriend, blah blah blah. But then I really not to feel them because number one, it was Arabic that it was written in, right? So the parts that were written in English, I was trying to check it with phone. You know, these old phones, and I didn't really get so much interested.
No, it's very poetic.
You can easily get the English version or even the Yoruba version.
It's a very poetic piece of writing.
Really? So tough. But then, and the fact that, you know, the time I was reading as a Christian. I can't see Jesus inside this saying, this one down. The entire thing, I was not really like drawn to it that time. That was the thing. And the fact that where I like, maybe this one should be what I will say, maybe cherish about them is that I think they are quite conservative on some things rather than liberal. For example, now
Christian can be very liberal.
I say I want to marry. They say I can't marry their. I was girlfriend.
But you were expecting that someone that is an allergy will dash you.
Exactly. So they were clear. You get it. They were not even joking about that one. And, you know, in Christianity is debate. You don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Some will tell you no. That one, it was clear. And that one self told me that their father that was an allergy will not allow to marry me. And it was not like they campaigned that. So it's being conservative anyway to preserve your faith and all that. Maybe that's a good one on their end. At least to preserve their faith and all that.
Okay, interesting. I like that. But don't you see that as more of a problem of all the problem of violence, and we can wrap it as if it's a problem of the people rather than the, you know, last week when we were talking about scientists can fraud data and whatever, we did not see it as a science problem. We see it as, you know, some scientists trying to fraud the system.
No, I think, is it not clear in the Quran that they shouldn't give their children to unbelievers and all that? That they shouldn't even roll with them like that. It's not clear.
There's a clear distinction between believers and unbelievers, right? What states your relationship with them, with the unbelievers? So I think that should be part of it.
The marriage part, but
yeah, it should be part of it.
You know, I think you used to say with this code that when the majority is not insistent, they soon become the minority and all that. So I think they pass that check, and it's a good one if you really want to preserve your faith. It's not to be encouraged. Doing intermarriage, because, for example, when a guy come and carry your pikin away like that, you've lost a sister. No,
that's true.
Also, let me point this out. Muslim men are permitted to marry non-Muslim women.
Okay.
In as much as the women are willing to transition to Islam, right? Yeah, I think there's a provision for that.
I love you people strategy.
But for the women to marry out, I don't think so.
You people, you are very wise. Omogbo want to kill you people. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear from the other camp, because it's more like the Muslim and the half. We don't know where he belong. People that used to call themselves agnostic, we don't know where. Cultural Christian, like to the fully. The shocking part is that both of them are wearing black. I don't understand this problem. Why will you be calling yourself Christian and you both of you be wearing black? Don't that shows that you guys are non-Christian. You should be wearing white. White is the logo of the Christian people.
The Bible does not restrict us from wearing any color of clothes.
Okay, no wala. So, what's your particular ache with Islam? Do you have any particular problem, or why haven't you become a Muslim? You know, have you had interaction with them before? Why don't you choose to become one of them, or you have not chosen to listen to them?
I think one of the biggest one, Josh has mentioned it. Tending to be violent thing. I think I was showing, there was this guy on IG, this guy that used to make some sexual innuendo, but will not actually mention this expert. What's his name? Is it Boda Alam or something like that? So he was making a content, and then obviously he was using some things that are related to Islam. And I was like, I went to check the comment section. I I started saying things like, this will result in violence, blah, 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 blah. If you have issue with something. Violence is another stage. So I think Josh has made mention of that. One other thing is, I think punishment to things is quite harsh under the Sharia law. For instance,
You just said it even considered barbaric.
For instance, it is said that if you catch a thief,
Mm.
the next thing you should do is to cut off
Is
his
that-
arm.
mm.
For the sake of what did it like, and then there's no mention of what the thief actually stole. So even if he just steal something from maybe he's hungry and then he stole one meat, the next thing is
Stealing.
It's
Brother,
stealing.
stealing.
So me, I have I'm like, what the hell?
I mean, don't you think that's coming from the fact that you are a Christian and you people love you do redistributive justice, or what do they call that form of justice? That justice,
So
redemptive justice,
Retribution.
retribution, yeah, redemptive justice.
aside
justice
from
to-
the
to
even
revive.
in this current life, as in this current setup of Nigeria, we don't do such a thing.
Mm.
So if somebody steal, we can apportion the person a certain level of number of years or punishment or like that, or returning
Is that not worse than cutting his hand? Are they not on the same scale?
It's not on the same scale, bro.
I think there's just justice.
Cutting your hand is for your hand will not be able to do anything. That means that hand is lost for the rest of your life.
So that you keep reminding yourself that not to steal again.
With which hand?
With
This
the hand
is
that we
not,
have
it's
cut
not
off.
about you don't want to steal. It's about the fact that it is almost impossible for you to steal. Because most likely they
Can
will-
use your leg to steal.
So I just feel it is too. And I think last week I was being as a Christian, I was being how would I describe this? Being mounted on that, okay, Christian have a way to. I think it was actually saying something like that. That it is easy for people to misinterpret the Quran,
The Bible.
the Bible.
Yeah.
And in my own head, I was like, okay, is it like everything is straightforward in the Quran? Until I went to make some research and I see that there are a lot of things. So now, the average Muslim, Sunni Muslim that is around us, because most of the Muslims that are close to me are good people that I know,
Okay.
that I've known, that I've been living with.
Okay.
Interesting.
But the point is, like Josh said, people are conducting things that are close to jihad. They are embarking on jihad. And then some average Muslim will say it is misinterpretation. It's misinterpretation that it's actually not like that. So I'm like, okay, so it's not just the Bible that has this easy, because it was saying it last week that some people they don't want to
The
give
funny
blood
part is that
and all of that.
it's not just some cherry picking that I think is only available in the Quran. There's some real contradiction in the Quran. One of it is that there's a part of Quran that said God created the universe for like about 8 days. If you follow the narrative, it's like 8 days. There's one that said that God created the universe for 6 days. You know, and then there's one that said God created human being from a clot of blood. There's one that said He created man from dust. There's one that said He created man from mud.
Inside where?
The same Quran.
Wow.
I can't read them out. You know, it's only people that
You
want
carry
to
them
lie.
out for us. Let's.
It's only people that want to lie that will not come into a discussion with evidence. Evidence.
Oh, I thought it's only Bible that was shifting.
No. Teaching, no. It's everywhere there's double IP. Everywhere you can find double IP, there's a double. There's also the idea of free will. The same way we find in the Bible, there's contradiction of free will. There's also contradiction of free will in the Quran, which is Surah 41 verse 46 says, no, so does wrong, but it is against itself. Then Surah 6:39 that said, Allah leaves astray whom He wills. So you have free will, at the same time you don't have free will. The same IP changing thing that we discussed last week.
Both in a simulation.
The creation of human being that I was talking about, there's Quran 96 verse 2 that said, created man from a clot of blood. There's Surah 15:26 that said, we created man from sounding clay from mud molded into shape. There's Surah 3 verse 59 that said he created him from dust. You can look into all of that. So it's not as if about the one I said about time that Allah took to create the universe. Your Lord is, that is this Surah 7 verse 54. Your Lord is Allah who created the heavens and earth in 6 days. Then Surah 41 verse 9 to 12 said, describe the creation in 2 days, then the earth provision in 4 days, and then the heavens in 2 days, summing to 8 days. So there's that too. It's not as if it's from one religion. Almost all religions carry that problem. Intercession on the day of judgment. This one is very, very important. Surah 20 verse 109. That day, no intercession will benefit except one whom the most merciful has given permission. So that one established that there can be an intercessor that Allah himself gave permission. And then Surah 2 verse 254 said, "O you who have believed, spend before a day comes on which there is no bargaining, no threshing, no intercession." The other one was saying that no, there's nobody that will be able to intercede for you on the day of judgment. Why in paradise? This one is very funny. They all claim that intoxicant and gambling, note, are an abomination of Satan's handiwork. Now, another one that said, rivers of wine, delicious to drink in paradise. I beg. That there shall be rivers of wine and quaco. I thought he says
translate to alcohol?
Okay, maybe it's not alcohol wine.
No, I'm just asking, does that translate to alcohol?
You can give us context, huh? You can say it's not alcoholic wine.
That's what you're insinuating. So I'm trying to.
No, it can be.
If
it can be.
Translates to alcohol.
It can be not alcoholic wine. If that's what you want to claim.
Okay.
I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying where we can. The place where we can debate. You may say it's not. But forgetting our sin, indeed, Allah does not forgive association with him. And then that's Surah 4 verse 48, and then there's 39:53 that said, "My servant who has transgressed against themselves by sinning, do not despair of mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives us sin." So you get, permission for apostasy. Surah 2 verse 256. There's no compulsion in religion. Surah 44 verse 89. But if they turn away from Islam, seize them and kill them wherever you find them. If you turn away from Islam, seize him, kill him, wherever you find them. So it's everywhere. If you do your research, you have all of this with you. But unfortunately, you didn't do your research.
No, so all of this, I think I know all of that too, or some of it. It's just that I've seen that, okay, it is there. So there's no point in actually trying to list them again. And you are asking me about the fact that why, after seeing the Islamic thing, I've seen a lot of people that are Islam. I've seen, even I know some of my friends that have said that they want to mini wonka or something like that. I don't know what is in English. What they call that in English.
No, maybe they want to do janaba for you.
So it's more like, I think it's more like a baptism.
Yeah, it's like
the form of baptism of Christians.
It's like ablution, but this time you pour water on your head, all over your body. We do we will do it even when we commit adultery and cool, and then want to go back to.
What do you call the name?
I think they used to call it wonka. I don't know if it's a Yoruba word for it.
Janaba that we know.
Yoruba word.
Is it janaba that we will know? Janaba that we will know.
Okay.
I used to be a Muslim, so I know these things.
I've
been there,
something like that. But me, one of the reasons why, after seeing all of that, of course, I have bias towards Christianity. One. Another reason is that I prefer to be called the child of God rather than being a
servant of God. Or slave of God. Okay.
I prefer that title than being a slave. So,
okay.
One other reason why I don't feel like being a Muslim.
Okay. So that means you are going to agree with me, because for me, one of it is I believe that Christianity says something like, you are important, you are precious, so we send Jesus to save you. Islam says something like, the essence of creation is Muhammad, so follow him and worship me as slave. So that's more like the model. In one
follow
word,
him and worship him.
Follow him and worship Allah. Him, yes, him of Allah. So it's more like, there's one God and Muhammad is his prophet. Although I find that contradicts the fact that even the the Islamic people believe that it's Jesus that will come back on Day of Judgment and co. So I don't know how they balance that discrepancy of a prophet that will come back is less important than the prophet that, that brought the message, because that one is the friend of Allah. So, sort of, it's very mythological.
That brought the
I find
updated
their
message.
story way more mythological in nature, even more than Christian. Although Christians too has their own dragon, Spider-Man. But before I go into all of that, let me hear from Godwin. Godwin, have you been in touch with Islam before?
Okay, so
You have never been in touch with Islam.
no, I've been privileged to. Okay, I was born and brought up in the northern part of Nigeria, Bauchi State to be precise.
Be precise.
Yeah, so up until I was 10 years old, because of the entire, this is one of the issues I have with Islam and everything, because of Boko Haram issue. That's 2010, 12, when they were busy bombing everywhere and the rest. So
Oh wow.
we had to run back to our state.
Mm.
Yeah. So that is one of the issues. If I have any issues with Islam, that should be one of it.
Mm.
Yeah. But then, when we're looking at it from a theological aspect, I'm a Christian. So
Now, question where I ask you, I want me to answer. Why you dey jump like this? I said, what's your touch point with Islam? We told us about your Bauchi experience. Have I asked you whether you have problem with Islam? Must you have problem with Islam? But is there everyone that wants to have problem with Islam on this table?
No, nah.
So,
it's
tell
subject
us,
to
what's your
discussion.
problem with Islam? And now go into it.
Director. Okay, so as I was saying, first from a theological standpoint, I'm a Christian. So already the Bible already stated that, in John 14 verse 6, Jesus saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So already as a Christian, that
Yeah.
is
You have been conditioned.
We've been
You have been conditioned to
conditioned.
believe that Jesus is the
Jesus
way,
is
the
the only way.
truth.
Jesus is the only, way, the truth, and the life. I believe in God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Oh.
So that is fundamental, right? Then going by,
So you are biased no matter what.
yeah, I'm biased. Like,
Okay,
I know
so
I'm biased. Like,
let's begin.
that's fundamental. Then going by, other things. One of the things that I don't really, like with Islam is that they have this head mentality.
Hmm.
And it could be a good thing in the sense that they love each other, right? They agree with each other very, very much, and it could be a good thing, right? But then because of that bond they have with each other,
One thing I would like to have is the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. There are many form of even in Kwara State Offa, to be precise, there are this set of women that they were having this kind of mocks in Offa that women they were doing. There are some other Islamic schools. Yeah, they will be claiming that what they are doing is rubbish. That women cannot be leading prayer and quote stuff like that.
I'd actually like to understand what you mean by head mentality.
okay, head mentality is
That
that they have
discrepancy,
this oneness of mind, like they agree with each other. You understand?
Very much.
Like they can.
I'm saying, I agree with you on what you are saying based on what you have seen.
Yeah, what
But I'm not agreeing with you on the fact that it's that global. Like that, it's not like that. That
it could be, right? But I'm just telling you from what I've seen so
Yeah,
far, and
yeah,
I'll
I
give
get-
you.
I
I'll give
get.
you instances, right? One is an experience I had when I was in the north. But before I get to that, right? So that way, because of the head mentality, it's easy to sell.
I'm trying to understand your experience that made you come to the
conclusion
conclusion that
that
there's head mentality in Islam.
Okay. So I remember when I was 10, me and one Alimajiri guy, we were fighting, right? And he had his friends around. So it's just like a few steps away from my mother's shop, right? My mother was selling back then. She was selling in Modalawa Market, Bauchi State. So I don't know. I can't really remember. But I know that it was not something that was very, very serious like that. It was just, we're cursing each other. Don't worry, do worry, those kind of things. And before we started fighting. And before boom, all the Alimajiri in that place, in that market, they have gathered me. They've started beating me. Nobody asked question. No, what did you do? What did you not do? Who started? Who did not start it? I was just
Is that not a northern
Thank
thing?
you very much. So, with that experience, you believe there's head mentality in
I
Islam?
believe, and then
Wait. With that experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me now paint this scenario. While I was in school in Port Harcourt, right? No, we had only just 4 Muslims in our class. And we were about 130 plus.
Okay.
So something happened one day and I had a fight with a guy named Paulo.
Paulo!
So,
The Paulo that collected your girlfriend?
No.
Okay.
No Paulo took my girlfriend. No. So I had an issue with Paulo. And we started pushing each other. Before you know it, guys, like up to 20, 30 guys surrounded me and started beating me. And I'm telling you, every single one of them is Christian. Is a Christian. So should I not say, okay, because some guys somewhere got up and beat me, then they have head mentality.
It's not just with that. It is the same everywhere. Like, it is the same if you go to, it's most especially in Northern Nigeria. I'll also give you another example. Okay, this girl that was mugged 2020, what was her name? Deborah in Sokoto. I don't know if you've seen
that
the
one is a
story.
religious one.
That one is
clear.
purely, yeah.
That one is
So,
clear.
I mean, cases like that, right, is what tells like, okay, there seems to be like a head mentality here, where people don't want to, understand what's
happening, but
what
they
is
just
happening.
follow,
They just follow
whatever.
because, but then,
And I think it's true, and it's clear that that kind of thinking is what quickly weaponize terrorist groups and
yeah.
groups.
But then, let me land. I just want to land
Let me
first.
point this out. You see this Deborah stuff. I saw it when it happened. I saw it online and it was appalling, right? Those guys did that because of, I believe it's majorly because of their own personal issues. Right?
That game.
Because I learned some of them have been having issues with that gay right before that stuff happened.
Yeah.
Right? Majority of those guys have issues that gay before that stuff happened. Right? And I believe it's wrong. Killing somebody because of what? Totally wrong. That won't happen in the Southwest here. So that should tell you that it's people thing. Not a religious thing. I look for boys in Port Harcourt where they kill those guys. Those people that kill those guys are Christian.
Did they kill him did they kill the guy for Jesus, defending Jesus?
Defending Jesus or those kind of
You understand? So you need to like put the context straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
These people they have alibi
they
of the fact that this girl is saying nonsense about the prophet and they were defending the prophet. So it's easy to link, to be frank. So apart from the fact that all those court boys in Port Harcourt, you cannot just easily say
not court boys.
ordinary boys
They
in
killed
Port
them
Harcourt.
because they believe they stole something.
It's not about that one. Is not about Jesus, Paul, Silas. It's not about that. This one is about religion. So it's a different thing. For example, that one that I was saying, that one car, blah blah blah. That one that I was saying earlier, that one doesn't have any religious on that, and it's not admissible. But with the other ones about this Deborah and the rest like that, they have alibi, and they have alibi in religion.
Yeah.
So I think the context are clear.
So my point is that then, that way it's always easy to sell, a political agenda or any agenda of any sort, right, to them, because once you can link an agenda to, a few scriptures in the Quran, it becomes more like, what the populace will adopt. So that is most likely my problem with Islam. Then, and another thing, I think this should be the last, is that, and I think it has been highlighted too, but I'm putting it in my own way, right? Islam is kind of rigid in the sense that I don't think that there is any possible form of modification of like how,
It's more like every religion stuff.
No, Christianity, there has been some modification in Christianity. I can tell you for a fact. Okay, I can tell you one of the modifications is that if this was like the 1600s and the rest, the 16th century, where you go to churches nowadays and everybody is speaking in tongues and like you walk on the road and you're speaking, they will lynch you because they will consider you a heretic, right? But then, people like Martin Luther and the rest, they came and they challenged those, and they even challenged those ideas with, scriptures too.
They
challenged those ideas, and at the end of the day, we've come to, you can say that Christianity have evolved per time, but I don't think that will happen with Islam.
You know why you can't say that directly? It's the fact that if you look at the early, after Muhammad times, there was a crusade, a jihad, let me use because it was jihad, that was caused a fight between the Arabians and the Byzantine Empire.
Okay.
So And things like that usually happen. Like it was only like after conquering this place, go to Antioch. After conquering Antioch, go to. So now in Islam, I don't think they are doing that again. So should I say? Are we saying that because of that they are now?
No, what I'm saying
they are
is that no,
flexible.
you are relating it to to wars and historical this thing, incidents and the rest. I'm not relating it to historical. I'm talking about theologies and ideas like ideas and dogma to say
Like-
doctrine and dogma.
Do you know about what they call modern Islamic scholars? Have you heard that term before?
I've never heard that term before.
So modern Islamic scholars are like you hear Kinikan Ibn Isa, Kinikan Ibn this one, blah blah blah. You hear them; they are just prolific thoughts in the line, and then you see that modern Muslims, Muslims, they tend to cite them that okay, there's this motivation from this, modern Islamic scholar. There's this context that this Islamic scholar have added to the religion. There's the people that tend to stick to the olden practice are what they call as is it Shiite or what do they call them? The people that want to hold on to the old Islamic practice by, is it Sufi that they call them or something?
Tablighs.
Uh-huh.
Tablighs.
They are called Telbiks, I mean. Yeah.
They tend to want to live
Live according, and then
to
they
African
follow the
religions.
dogma of the Quran.
Okay.
Or there's a set, I'm not denying the fact that there's a large set of them that want to stick to those old practices.
So that's what
But
I'm saying. Like
that there's no modification. I won't admit that to a reasonable extent there are modifications in the religion. That
so.
If you can agree that there are modifications in
Christianity.
Christianity, most likely you have
so
to admit
to
that.
the degree that there are modifications in Christianity, there's a certain degree. It's maybe it's not as prolific
Okay,
or
as
as homosexual accepting as Christianity, but it's
no.
Slavery, debunking Christianity.
Yes. So it's like that to the point that of such they are accepting changes.
If that is the case, then I think maybe that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm just saying that for now. But then that used to be my bias, and I think it's up to this extent. It was my bias.
Okay, also let me point this out. Decades ago, right, it is not permissible for women to drive alone in the Saudi, or even be in a space where men are gathered, right? It is not permissible. But recently, right, go to Saudi Arabia, you see there are some modifications and input of new ideas, right? That encourage foreign investments and change of life, right? Recently, you would notice the Saudis are investing heavily in football, right? Why are they doing so? Because they want to be more welcoming. The other kind of living is kind of how do I put it? It's not that welcoming to non-Muslim, right? But with the new kind of way of life they're living on, right? They're living right now in Saudi Arabia. That's the seat of Islam. I don't think.
At least they allow Ronaldo that is not married to his girlfriend to be living together.
The thing is that if
No.
Ronaldo was not Ronaldo in quotes,
At least
At
that's
least they bend.
they adapting
Before,
now
it
to
should
the
have been
new
before.
reality.
They
You
bend
understand?
to it.
But then, albeit, that's not to deny the fact that there are 50 million plus people in Iran that will never agree to
that.
whatever new
Exactly.
standard.
And then I think
several
not just
other
Iran,
parts of
I think
the-
they are claiming to be the seat of Islam, right? In the recent time, even the Rihannas, they are claiming it.
So.
I think that's why there is issue between Saudi Arabia and the faction of Iran, and you can see.
That has been going on
At-
for centuries, not just recently.
I'm not saying that it has been. No, I'm not saying it has been. I'm just saying they are claiming. It's just a claim. And if you are talking about the fact that the head mentality thing, they used to have issues too. Differences. If you look into the politics these days, Iran is supporting these people, Hezbollah and Hamas and all of that. Saudi Arabia, as much as they are also Muslim, are not in support of these people. I've never heard them say anything positive about or defending them. So it shows that they are not just all head in one place.
So now that everyone has been saying that, let me start with my own. I always have 4 things to say. First and foremost on the list is that No matter yours, you tell me, I'm not going to buy the idea that there's one man, Muhammad was his name, and he's a prophet of God, and received some certain message in Saudi Arabia or somewhere, and those messages are coming from certain place or whatever the case may be, and it's the most important human being in all of creation. So because of that, I should follow his message. As you see me, so I'm a very proud guy. I'm very important. I don't want to know in this life whether there are 8 billion people or 800 billion people. I consider myself as a very important creature. So you cannot tell me that BS story. The people that are even telling me BS story that Jesus come and die for my sin, I did not believe them. Not talk of one person say he's the most important creature in all of existence. That's my own number one. But that one a personal beef. No follow me talk am. No even. You see, you get am. No follow me talk that one. Personal beef. Now let's grant the rest on rationality. First and foremost, I think I have the problem of evil and the problem of religious violence, crime against women, even up to today, there's people still arguing on the fact that as a Muslim, they have the right to flog their wife, and cool. There are arguments in that dimension. And then there are many other arguments like the one I read earlier, when you see the kill them, do that, smart them, and people picking that and using that. And it's crystal clear. The evidence is overwhelming that people use that as the basis of their actions, and they use that to guide how so that's my second point. The third one that I find very overwhelming, there are scholarly arguments about the fact that Allah is not God, and God is not Allah in a sense, and I don't make any claim without evidence, So now let's track the argument, how it is flowing and where it is coming from. So we'll start from this first argument. Says that like Patricia Crone and Michael Cook have studied pre-Islamic Arabia and noted that the term Allah was used. I'm going to sign them. Were used in Arabic Peninsula before the advent of Islam. Pre-Islamic inscriptions and poetry reveal that Allah was considered a high god in the polythemic pantheon, akin to the chief deity, but not the sole god of monotheism. This leads to some argue that Islam depended on the existing deity rather than introducing a whole new concept of the divine. So the reference is Chrome, Patia, Meccan Trade and Rise of Islam. Princeton University published this paper in 1987. So you can go and read the entire paper. The connection between Allah and Uba. A controversial came often cited by theorists in association to Allah with Uba, a prominent deity in the Kaaba before Islam. Critics argued that Muhammad reformist message co-opted the worship of Allah, aligning with monotheist Abrahamic tradition while distancing from the religion from its political past. So you can go and look that up. Peter's F.E. the Arch, the Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca and the holy places. Princeton University published that one too. Press 1994. Then there's this linguistic analysis that has been run on the term Allah for quite a while. They believe it's derived from the word Allah, meaning the God. However, theorists point out that definite article al implies specificity rather than universality, suggesting Allah might originally have been a localized deity. They argue that this linguistically indicates a transformation from a polytheistic framework to a monotheist one. Luxembourg, Christophe, the Syriac Armenic reading of the Quran, Ashin Kinikava 2007. The editor is going to post all this paperwork in the comment section, in the description, and also on screen. So, there are comparison methodology used to, some that compare Allah with other regional gods such as El in the Canaanite pantheon and the Mesopotamian deity Sin, a lunar god. They argue that similarity in the attributes such as lunar association in early Islamic iconography point Allah evolution from a deity within a pantheon rather than an entirely unique god. The reference is there. Sam, Mark S., The Origin of Biblical Monotheism, Islamic Politics Background, and the Ugaritic Text. They published this one as early as just Oxford University Press, 2003. Socio-political dynamics, the transition of monotheism under Islam interpreted by conspiracy theories as a political consideration tactics. They claim that uniting tribes under one God, Allah, was a strategic move by Muhammad to centralize power and authority in a fragmented society. The invasion of Mecca and Medina under Islam involved implication. So you can go and look up all these claims. So I'm saying my personal problem with just the same way that I access every information and I say, think about it critically. I'm just citing some of the opinion on it so that it doesn't look like I'm the one coming up with it. And then I noticed that in Islamic world, generally, they don't tend to generally call God God. They call Allah all the time. And I tend to inquire into that when I was way younger. I'm talking about maybe 2014. And that's why I know that there's an actual insistence on the word Allah. I don't know whether that's me know that. There's an actual insistence on the word Allah rather than any other use of the word. They said, and the reason why that my prophet, or what do we call them? My clerics that time gave me was that the reason why on the sense of Allah is that other form of word can imply other things. Just as the same way Christians often argue that, or Isheshe people, for instance, to be specific, or argue that Eshu is not the same thing as Satan that Christians like to believe. That Eshu Olita is not the same thing as the Satan of the Bible that was fighting with God. That Eshu is not the same character. So the cleric was of the argument that is what the religion is trying to protect by insisting on the only way you call our God is Allah. Okay. Which make me go into those further research, that make me read all those documents about, whether Allah. So now, since it's a debate, it's one of the reasons why I'm doing, when we say God is God in Christian, we know what we all are looking for, a central living God somewhere. Then when we start debating whether it's a deity that they converted him for a political reason, whatever, I'm not even could in the first place. To me, we now be debating whether I'm serving the right God or not. It's another thing I don't want to be involved with. I think that's my second point. The third point is what was my third problem with the religion? I've talked about violence against women. I've talked about Muhammad as the essence of the word. I've talked about so I've talked about 3. I think the fourth one is that they close the door. Yeah, I hate the idea that Islam closed the door. They said that their religion is the final religion and it's the last one, and they are not saying as if their document is purely unadulterated, nothing changes. And then if you follow the history of how Quran was formed, it's almost as if when they were delivering this message, some well-educated fellow that received the message wrote it down thoroughly, accurately, representing God's thoughts. Let's even assume that it's God that delivered it through Jubri. It's not as if somebody that is well-educated, whatever. One man that is sleeping with that married a 6-year-old that slept with him at 9 years old is one that passed this message to some generation of other followers that end up, writing all of this under duress, when they were about to go to war and die, and they try to collate it. And then somebody sit down and modulate it and finish it and write it up. And you want us to believe it as the final truth. And then you lock the door and say any other religion is a fake religion, that is the only religion recognized by your God. And your God is the only God. So I think is that locking the door. And then that's why locking the door is not as if the document is that pure in its source. So it is in that locking the door that I have a very, very particular problem, which is you lock the door and it's not as if your document came directly from God, or you saw God first and He delivered the book to you. It's not that straightforward. It's more like any other religion. And you are locking the door and say any other religion doesn't. And you want to establish that by violence. I think that's that last point for me. And so that's it for my own hand. That's my own particular point. I don't know if that's going to want to now say something to all of us and help us see the light from their religion.
Thank you very much. I would like to, you made mention of somebody that married a 6-year-old and had access to her at the age of 9. That's true, right? But I would like us to look at it from this perspective. This incident happened several centuries ago, right? And we all can't deny that the way of life as at then, the culture as at then, is this right? Is it true? Is that the culture they were living as at then? Right? Several theologians are saying
so before you move further on that, let me answer your question because you are making a claim that needs to be challenged. So is Islam a religion for then, or for now, or for eternity?
It is for eternity.
So why will God deliver? Why will a strategic God, a all-knowing God, position His message in that milieu? Are you saying there are no more righteous people? There are no more decent men? There are no more, well properly oriented? As if we know for Jesus Christ that He was painted as a saint all throughout. He didn't even have wife. He didn't have children. He didn't collect bribe from anybody. He didn't kill anybody. Nothing was painted on His name like that. You get my point? So now let us say, tomorrow now, someone like, let me find one corrupt leader in Nigeria. This guy that stole all our money and we still recovering it. Abacha. Abi? So now let's not say Abacha is not the one that come and say this is the book. Will it even make sense for? Will you believe that it's a strategic God that is giving Abacha the message that all of us will Abacha. Not even Jugulo Jonathan, not even
whether or not it was during a military era.
whether or not they do Abacha will be the last person I should be expecting God to be talking to. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is,
no. First answer the question. Are they more
what's wrong today?
Are they more? No.
What's wrong
Are they
today?
more? Will you agree with me that there are more uptight men during that time? Men that are uptight.
Possibly.
So in that possible world, why God not choose those people that are of more credible credential?
More than Prophet Muhammad.
I don't know. More credible people that we will not be able to be doubting that God is the one talking to this guy.
I believe God chose the right person. He chose the right messenger.
Of course, if
That's
the right
my
person is
belief.
the person that sleeps with the 9 years old, if you believe the right person is the person that sleeps with the 9 years old, I cannot have any way to argue with you about that. I'm just saying that.
Then what I'm saying is, what's wrong today? I'm coming. What's wrong today, culturally wise, might not be wrong centuries ago.
So
I'm coming.
You think
let's bring it to this current world now, where people hire housemaids, right? It will get to a point where we look people from centuries ahead of us. We look at this point in time and say that's barbaric. We look at this point and say, no, why will somebody be serving you as a maid? That's barbaric.
No,
I don't know if that will possibly be true one day. I don't know.
The question
It's
is,
true,
how does that speak to the credence of God that is honoring? Strategic God.
God that is
You
all knowing.
understand? Like,
All powerful, all knowing, can position things properly in a way that will not avoid conflict. And your religion specifically speak that your God is not a author of confusion, is a straightforward God.
he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. Those are also factors you need to consider. I'm not saying that all of these things are not possible. If I'm a human being, I have staff that are working with me. In the future where the people are using AI as staff, you understand? They will say it's barbaric for you to take a human being and say he's using you as a home staff. You understand? I can agree with you that it's possible like that. But if I'm now saying I'm all-knowing, even me that I'm not all-knowing, I'm already considering that possibility. So if I want to create an eternal truth, of course I should be able to walk straight, with my shoulders back. So that way, when that truth is being communicated in the future, it will not be faulted based on its source. You get my point? That's my concern.
Now, the issue of Prophet Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old and having access to her at the age of 9. Was it stated in the Quran that you should marry a 6-year-old and have access to her at the age of 9? Was it stated?
I don't know. You can tell me.
It's not stated.
Was it not stated that you should emulate
culture
Muhammad?
then.
Was it not stated that you should emulate Muhammad?
Of course.
So if you emulate Muhammad now at 9 years old, do you think it's right or wrong?
What I'm now saying is, it is not right for me to say I want to marry a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old.
Why?
Now.
Why?
Because I can't.
Why?
The world is more advanced.
So
it's
there's
not
nothing.
based on religion.
There's nothing wrong with it.
In
nothing-
its
You don't think there's nothing? There's nothing wrong
it's
with
about
it.
law.
Then their culture permits it.
Calm
It
down.
might not be wrong, but now it is wrong.
Let me ask
under the law, we practice
Apart
now.
from the law.
Apart from the law, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this simple: do people grow maturely faster now or previously? Do you believe in the previous time people grow more maturely, or do we now people easily mature now? Children easily mature. Which one is the case? Do you believe is in the past that people grow faster into maturity, or it is now that people physiologically?
I read some publications right that made mention that people grow way more faster as at that point in time, right? And some people even back up the argument with the fact that even Mary got pregnant with Jesus she was a teenager then. The age was between 13 to 16.
Okay.
Where do you get that one?
Let me
At least that one you can't establish in the
Bible.
It's
Okay.
definitely a Deuterocanonical
book because
You
I don't
understand?
know. I don't know that Mary was a teenager,
That's the
but
best.
she might be a
best thing you
teenager.
can
We
see.
don't know.
Maybe you are
Thank God
saying
I'm not a Christian apologist. Let the Christian apologists defend
As
themselves.
far as the Bible is
Please,
concerned,
ladies and gentlemen, kindly fact because last week we did not quickly fact check some people on the claim that
See, it is even clear.
Ajilomoto
It
is
says-
something
it says-
and
see,
what
says
verse of the Bible?
I'm coming. Said the exact. I'm asking this thing now. Google AI said the exact age of Mary when she became pregnant with Jesus is unknown, but religious experts and Christian historians speculate that she was around 14 to 16.
The problem is,
Right?
It's
I'm coming.
speculative.
This is because the average age for Jewish women to get married at that time was in their teen,
Okay.
right? And Jewish custom allowed young women to become betrothed as early as the age of 12.
okay.
Okay.
And Arab too can marry a child at 6. Is that what you are saying?
So I want to believe that's a cultural thing
Now,
then as it is.
so it's a cultural thing then accepted. But here's the thing: do child grow? You are agreeing that we can't know for sure because it seems like they grow faster. You are claiming that they may be growing, faster in those time than now.
Yes.
That they may be now. Right now, is it right for you whether they grow faster now or they grow faster? Now, whether they grow faster then or they grow faster now, is it right for you thinking about objectively thinking? Forget about the law. Do you think it's right to, with your interaction with 9-year-olds, or 6 years old? Do you think it's right to be betrothed to them or throw yourself to them or whatever, or sleep with them by night? Do you think it's right in your own thinking, your rational thought? 9 years old.
For me, a Yoruba man, that's not right. For me, it's not right. Right. But also there are some countries that still practice early marriage.
I'm asking
so
you. I don't need country.
For me,
I've ignored it. Now,
it's clear. It's clear.
so if there's a strategic God, and it's talking to someone, will you expect that person to marry a 9-year-old? If a God that is unknowing is talking to someone, you're having a communication with someone, will he expect that unknowing God to instructively tell you that, a 9-year-old should be able to sleep with you? Forget it. She's knowledgeable enough to sleep with you. You have right to sleep with a 9-year-old.
Anyways, I still stand on my point. When I said it is a cultural thing for them then.
I will appreciate your response.
But now, it is not permissible.
No, I'm talking
For
from.
me-
I'm not even
for
talking
me-
about. I'm talking about God. No, forget
about
the.
God, man.
Just.
So what do you think about the Iranian new legislation that brought down the age of consent to I think is it 9 or something?
Exactly, that's their culture.
So you think it makes sense?
Why will I think it makes
and
sense?
their culture is more likely.
Have I claimed that it makes sense?
Why do you think it doesn't make sense?
To marry 9-year-olds as at this current age?
Why do you think
In time.
why do you think it doesn't make sense?
It's
Because
not
I have junior ones of such age, and I won't even allow anybody to come close to them.
Don't
But
talk
it
of.
makes sense to happen in Iran.
That's their culture. I'm not telling it makes
So
sense.
their
to happen
culture
in Iran.
makes sense or subjectively to them.
Should.
So their culture actually makes sense.
So John,
It makes sense to
John,
them.
John,
What you are
John,
doing here is not
John, you are allowing him to evade the most important question.
Calm down. What they are doing there
Let them
is
bash
their own
it as
business.
small. I'm just.
Right?
I'm
It's
watching
their own
them.
business. Either right or wrong, I don't care. For me, I believe it's wrong. Right? And they're practicing it. It has nothing to do
Oh
with
yeah, maybe
prayer
now
and
leave
all
your
this.
personal belief. So if now God is speaking, all knowing God is now instructing somebody, are you expecting such behavior from that person? If an all knowing God is
That the
instructing,
word was created for.
especially the person that the word was, especially the person that the whole world was created for, is the essence of the word. Am I wrong? Is Muhammad not the essence of the word?
Yeah, he is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he is. According to
So-
the scripture, he is.
Mhm.
So now, centuries ago, in the settings of I'm coming.
Leave centuries.
paint the scenario here. I want
Okay.
to paint the scenario. God instructs somebody to send a message to somebody or send a message to somebody in Mecca or Medina. Send a message. What was expected then was to write on a scroll and transfer. These days, pick a phone and call. So what I'm saying is, things are advanced as it is now.
I know, I get
So-
it. All-knowing includes that even if things are advanced, such all-knowing agent will factor those things in. For instance, now,
truly.
even with that, we are sitting there and making camera. Nobody's sitting there with their generator. But what have we done? We put enough fuel inside. We change the oil earlier. And then we on it. You understand? So in a strategic move, can that possibly be a part of a strategic move? That's what I'm asking you. Like, think as a strategic agent. That a strategic all-knowing God will give an essence of the word, the instruction, and part of that will include that he can go and have 9 households as his wife.
Thank God John pointed out Iran. That it is wrong to you and me does not mean it is wrong to
So
them.
God.
the thing is, he has
To
not
God.
agreed that
This one is
it
about
is wrong.
the all-knowing
To the
God.
all-knowing God.
It's not about culture. It's not about. It's about the.
All-knowing God. That's
God in
what
question.
I'm saying. You should speak for the mind, because now if you say you are a Muslim, Abi, you are saying that you are in worship with Allah. That means there's a certain understanding of him that you should know. You should know him as a strategic God. As a all-knowing God. He's controller of everything. He knows the future. He knows your future is destined. It's only part of the Quran. So with someone that knows that things are destined like that knows the beginning from the end, and the end from the beginning. You get the point? So does that speak to an all-knowing God?
That's
Knowing fully well that Islam is a global religion. I think that's also what he's saying. So that his messenger, his number one messenger, his number one friend, is the essence of the word. Should now be the one that married a 6-year-old that sleep with a 9-year-old. I'm asking you to speak for the mind of God.
His
Don't
reference
forget the
point, his
culture,
reference point.
because based on culture now, in our culture, lying is not really a crime. In our culture, you can lie. In our culture, sleeping with other people's wives is not really a thing. It's not a crime. You can sleep with other people's wives. Maybe they'll catch you dead. If they beat you, but it's not as if But we can all say it's a cultural thing that don't want people to sleep with people's wives. Do you get my point? Covetousness, for instance, to look at other people's wife and yash and school. At least, even if I do not sleep with them, looking at other or having fantasy them, but it's a crime when it comes to Allah and co. Now, the question is that God that knows my thoughts, that knows your thoughts, knows your future, that's going to wake all of us in our grave and say, wake up, do you know Muhammad? Who is he to you? Was he your prophet? Was he your pastor? Was he your brother? I was like, the only Muhammad I know is the Muhammad that his mommy is selling bottled water for me. I don't know the Muhammad you are talking about. So now, all strategic God, the question that I'm interested in is that I don't know whether I'm making sense. Am I making sense to you people?
Yes.
So the question I'm not interested in, you, the viewer, you can answer it too if you have an answer in the comment section. Without all strategic God, now, look, there's Yoruba people used to say that I cannot put my eye on the ground, that Talbot will not enter. You understand that the all-knowing God will not put his eye on the ground, that the talubo of a 6-year-old and a 9 will not enter it. That's what I'm concerned about. That's talubo entering the eyes of God through that medium. So I want you to give us an answer. What do you think? That's me. Do you think that all strategic God allow talubo to enter his eye?
okay. Assistant on my points. Let me read out a. Okay, this is an historical and cultural context. Let me read it out. It said,
We get
I'm coming. Marriage norms in the 17th century Arabia, right? In the Arabian Peninsula, at that age, it was culturally acceptable for girls to marry as soon as they reach physical maturity.
6-year-old have
I'm
reached
coming.
physical
I'm coming.
maturity.
Because I don't know what their body looks like then. I don't know. Says ages for marriage varies across cultures, right? And early marriages were common in many society as are then not just in the Arabia.
Now,
So consent and family decisions. Say,
When
when
you're done with the dribble, you go back to my question.
Aisha's father agreed to the marriage. This also means of strengthened alliance.
Good.
Aisha has later expressed love and respect for the prophets and played a significant
Yes,
role
yes,
in
yes,
Islam
yes.
history. When she later grew up, right?
okay,
You marry a 6-year-old to a man that she's already having sex with that man at 9 years old.
So
You now
I'm
say,
coming. This is the modern
let me be
perspective.
done.
This is modern perspective.
Uh-huh.
So our viewers will get
okay.
the point. Said this is modern perspective. said, today, societies have laws and norms regarding minimum age for marriage based on modern understanding of childhood and maturity, right? What was acceptable in the 7th century might not align with the modern ethical views, but historical practices should be understood in their context. I don't know why you're shouting.
All these dribble that you are doing is not necessary. That's what we want to know. Because you are speaking on behalf of all-knowing God.
At all.
I do not claim that I have an all-knowing science, for instance. I do not claim. That's one of the things I'm trying to let Bishop understand in our last episode. There's nothing like an eternal, everlasting truth that we know in science. What we know is what we say. This is what we know so far. So, but now you claim that you are all-knowing. You claim that we should worship that in historical content and we should worship God now.
Present.
It's not as if you have given up on on humanity. I think you still want humans to be in the service of Allah. So if that is the case, I believe that Allah should know from the future that marrying a 6 years old and whatever would be a real concern for people that want to say, who is Muhammad? Does he have the credentialism to say he's from God? Do you get the point? And now we are talking of a warlord that is sleeping with a 6 years old, that is married to a 6 years old and sleep with a 9 years old. Now the thing that this Christianity doesn't speak to credibility. Doesn't speak to.
So to you, what speaks to the credibility?
At least a decent man that represents.
What do you mean? What is the definition of a decent man?
My definition of
as I 7th century.
my definition of a decent man, based on my reality, is someone that upholds certain form of morality, like. Understanding the child is still a child. You cannot be sleeping with a child. Let's start from there. A child doesn't have a sense of right and wrong yet. They don't even know what they love. I've seen kids I've seen naughty kids, really, really naughty kids that we are the one containing them that why will you be naked in yourself? Why will you be putting pencil in your in your vagina? Why are you doing this? We're cultivating small kids to act in their corners because they are still small kids.
Have you ever look at yourself and say, okay, you are an image of that kind of person? The person you are trying to paint right now.
I'm not trying to be the one that will bring truth to the world. I am not. In fact, as I am like this, I have slept with a lot of women. So Jesus, for instance, I can say he's a good, because we will not find in his record that he was sleeping with a lot of women or breaking people's heart or causing war or sleeping with a 9-year-old. We did not see all of that. Let's start from there. Let's even take the image of Jesus Christ. Thank God they are made in terms of people that are being worshipped, historical figures that are being worshipped. You cannot be comparing me with Muhammad. I'm not in that league. But you can compare Muhammad. Let's compare Muhammad with Jesus, for instance, and see. When you are doing decency analysis, we can see Jesus in his all decency. I don't agree with Jesus, but I can still say, if you are looking for good virtue, this is someone we can look up to. Now, so that give more credence to the story of this person is from God than this person's claiming he's from God and he's doing what, he's doing this, he's sleeping with 9 years old, he's doing that. That's what I'm saying. Marry a lot of wives.
My own point is, what is permissible in the 7th century? It's not permissible right now.
We get that. We are not saying that. Is your God a 7th century God?
No, it's not a modern God. It's not
Is your God a 7th century? So we shall say your God is a 7th century.
Are they practicing such thing in this world right now?
Let me ask you one
question.
I'm asking. Are they still practicing those kind of stuff in this world right now?
Do you consider them as morally right?
I'm asking you, are they still practicing it right now in some places in this world?
Yes. Does that mean it's morally right? Do you think it's right?
For them, is it right or wrong?
Okay.
The question is,
to me it's wrong.
If you want to, that's what you want to argue. I will take you there. So is your God a local God, a global God?
Iran God.
Does he have a global template or a local template? Is it your God an Iran God? We should not forget it in Iran. Or is it a global God?
Global God.
What I'm saying is,
answer that one. Please answer yes. So why doesn't he have a global template for how the world should work? Why doesn't he have a global template? Why will something be wrong in Nigeria and will not be wrong in Iran? Because your God is a Libra. He doesn't care whether you sleep with a 9 years old or you sleep with a 10 years old. In fact, that means your God will allow it. Some people are sleeping with 1 year old because in their society it's not wrong.
I have no answer to that.
Because I know the Maya civilization, they were killing their first child, they are taking their heart and giving it to the sun god. So we will say because it's their civilization, it's the way they are doing. So your God doesn't have any problem with the way they are doing it.
The point is, if someone here now is having sex with a 9-year-old, do you think it's a sin to Allah at all?
At all. Or you think it's just,
it's just one of those things that people do. There's no that Allah does not concern himself.
No, don't say someone near. No. You have a younger sister that is around 9. Do you have? Or you have let's assume your daughter is 9 and somebody is sleeping with her right now. Do you think that's at first? Is it a sin against Allah? Before you even say it's a sin against you.
Obviously, it's a sin.
How come?
Number one.
When it's go normal in another place.
Number one, I didn't give the consent to it. You didn't marry. You didn't come and marry my daughter. I say, you want to marry my daughter. And
so if you give consent
to my daughter, obviously.
So that means if you approve it, if you are the one that approve
it.
Why won't you approve it?
Why do I approve it?
Now, if the person approves it,
the father of the daughter, child,
hypothetical father of the hypothetical daughter, approves it. In Nigeria, today's world, is he a sin to Allah or not? That's the question.
I don't know. But it's a sin according to our law.
To which law? To Nigerian law,
to Nigerian law.
I'm saying globally because you say your global is a global God. You should be able to speak to the global template. Because what you are saying now is that if you are in Nigeria, you will not sleep with a 9-year-old, but if you move to whatever, somewhere in Iran, you start sleeping with 9-year-old because it's allowed there. Is that what you are saying? Is that means that Allah doesn't watch, he's not judging you? Or Allah is judging because you are from Nigeria? You are from Nigeria, you are sleeping with 9-year-old. If you are from Iran, you are not wrong. But if you are not from Nigeria, is that what your Allah is doing? It's judging back country.
I think he said he doesn't.
I can't speak for how Allah judges whoever he wants to judge.
So how do you not know? How do you not know when you sin or you don't sin?
What is clear in the Quran that this is a sin and this is not a sin.
So what is a sin in the Quran? If that is not a sin,
still is a sin.
Okay, sleeping with a 9-year-old is not a sin.
I don't know about that. I don't know anything about that.
Okay, you said you don't know. You don't have answers to whether that God is strategic or not. So I think that answers the question in the first place. You can't speak to that effect. So.
What is informing? So, any other thing you want to correct us? Any other thing you want to correct us?
Josh made mention of, I think Josh and John, they made mention of Sharia being barbaric and being old-fashioned, as the case may be.
I'm saying it is ash. That's what I said.
I said it's barbaric.
I said it's barbaric. And, but I would like to point this out, right? That in as much as you want to believe it is barbaric, there are some societies that are practicing it. And
do you know that under the Sharia law in Nigeria, 14 years old is the minimum age for for consent.
For consent.
Exactly. So, and you believe Muhammad sleeping with 9 years old. Why don't they set it to 9 years old?
Why would they? When what? This happened in the 7th century.
No. If you think it's globally acceptable, they should be able to.
At least it's deviating from 18, which is the Nigerian standard. Now, why is it 14?
So if your religion can even come up with a law, they even call the penal code, the Sharia law, right? If your religion can come up with a set of body of law, and you cannot even speak to I'm going somewhere. And you cannot speak to just the nature of sleeping with a 9-year-old as right or wrong. It's binary. It's either you say it's right or it's wrong.
Let me point this out.
Let me help you.
Sharia law in the northern part of this country.
Let me help you.
And they put it there that 14 years old, right? In other places, they practice Sharia law, and their own is 9 or 8 years, right? So I think it boils down to we the people.
So your God is not interested in such matters. It's up to you people. If you like, be sleeping 1 year old. If they put it to 1 year old, there's no problem. Since it's about we the people.
Actually, nobody has ever put it at 1 year old. I don't know about it. I have no idea about that one.
You have no idea about that one. You cannot even speak to your God intent about such subject matter. That's interesting. Any other thing you want to enlighten me?
The issue of Sharia law being barbaric and cool. Like I've seen several people from America that went to Dubai, and they will say, "Wow, that they left something here and they met it there, the way it is. That such thing is not attainable in the West, right? What they are practicing in the UAE is Sharia law, and it is working for them. In fact, they are one of the top countries in the world, same as Saudi Arabia, right? And they practice Sharia law, and it works for them. So now we now bringing it to our own context of Nigerians and say, okay, we want to practice why we shouldn't practice Sharia law. Sharia law is wrong. Of course,
it's barbaric is my point. It's not even about
right. To use
no,
barbaric.
I'm saying that cutting off someone's hand for stealing is barbaric. That's
the question
my own point.
is, what is your ick with?
Yeah, that's my ick with it is the fact that cutting off someone's hand is barbaric. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And killing people for robbing, so is.
What do you say?
Killing people for robbing.
Is what?
Is barbaric too.
Killing people for
robbing.
Armed robbery.
armed robbery. I don't know. It depends on the law. For someone like me, I'm an atheist and I'm a subjectivist. So it's about what we come together. So for you to not be saying when we have our problem is that you saying that now your God doesn't have interest again. It's about we the people. That's where me I'm not really not moved by your God and it's it dictates. It's more like it's hanky panky. You're on some subject that is convenient for you the people. You can do anything you want, and the subject that is you say it's Allah that wants it that way. And I think that's the reason why you find it easy for you to mobilize the Quran and whatever into violence and go to. So, ladies and gentlemen,
can I just say the good part I like about Islam?
I thought you mentioned one good part.
No, I think there's one particular one. I think if there's a religion in this world that has the precepts that we call free gift inside, is Islam. I don't know whether it's part of any part of Quran, but I know it's usually said among Muslims that 72 virgins. When you do one particular thing, I think some people will say maybe it's inside it's not directly in the Quran, maybe it's on hadith or something like that.
When you bomb somebody, there will be 7 virgins for you and quote.
I don't know if they use bomb exactly, but I shall know that they say if you do jihad or so, you get that. I think there's no in marketing, there's no motivation other than something that really speaks to people's what they really want. I don't know, maybe people that are virgin starved in this world. You understand? How much of men? I don't even know how much of men ratio that if they really like Islam because of the fact that
they're going to be merging.
72.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it on this episode of Rational Dialogue. We have spotted out our differences. We have tried to defend them as much as possible. If you have other defenses, let's have them in the comment section. So that when we are doing the second run of this episode, we can iron them. Any other comments from people? So without
I'm not approving 72 whatever. I'm just saying that is motivation. These are things we do in marketing. You understand?
Don't forget there are no 72 or 7 virgins from you anyway. Don't deceive yourself. Don't bomb people.
Don't do
and if we have offended you in any way, let us know in the comment section so that we can.
So also the issue of 72 virgin, I wonder where he found it.
It's 7 virgin now.
Is it 7?
I wonder where he got it from.
Okay.
So
no part of that in that
we'll see you.
I said that now.
We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you very much for staying through.